It's called Advanced Answering Techniques. So it is 3 professional people explaining to other people how to answer different questions, a multiple variety of questions. Advanced Answering Techniques.
Welcome to Advanced Answering Techniques. I'm one of your hosts, Josh. I'm the president of the zoo. The zoo is the podcast. I'm constantly trying to get new animals for the podcast. These are ideas for things to have on the podcast. Like, here's a song about hot beans, and that's some kind of interesting pig for the zoo. And here's an intro about the mafia, and that's some kind of Italian animal. Which animal seems the most Italian to you guys? Hey, guess what? You can't say stallion.
No.
Water buffalo.
Why?
Water buffalo.
Thanks for getting on mic. Why?
Because the buffalo mozzarella.
What?
Mozzarella.
From a water buffalo.
Buffalo mozzarella.
Yeah.
Buffalo mozzarella. Sorry, I
The
feel
buffalo.
Buffalo.
The buffalo mozzarella.
Oh,
It's
that's
a
a kind
style of
of
mozzarella.
mozzarella.
That's the kind
Okay,
of
okay,
mozzarella.
see, I don't-
It's a cheese
Yeah.
from a buffalo.
Yeah. Okay, cheese from a buffalo. From a water, but not just. But you said
Yeah.
water buffalo.
Oh yeah,
for
it's
some
got to have water in it too.
reason. Cheese has to have water.
And dry water, just dry cheese. Yeah, American buffalo
Yeah,
cheese.
that's not Italian.
Wouldn't say so.
American. It's right there in the name.
Yeah, it's
point.
American. It's a cheese product.
That's a good
Yeah.
point. That's a good
Yeah.
point.
For me, it would be monkeys,
Monkeys.
just because they seem the most like humans. So
And they use their hands a lot.
yeah, it's true.
Yeah, talk with
I
their
mean,
hands.
really, they talk with their heads.
That's
Some
the
of these
only
monkeys
thing. Some of these monkeys and apes.
That's
That's all they're
can do.
doing.
Yep, yeah.
talking with their heads. Caleb, who you've already heard here, is the guy at the zoo who chooses the things that sell in the gift shop. Because that's what people are really interested in. And that's what Caleb's funny comments are like. Because Caleb is like, we should sell shark's teeth. And we're like, the zoo doesn't have any sharks. And he's like, trust me. And then we sell so many shark's teeth. And it's a good choice to sell shark's teeth. Yep, that's the money.
That's the
Yeah.
line.
The revenue. That's the profits. Do you guys ever get irritated when they sell things at the gift shop that they don't have at the zoo? Like where they're leaning on.
Oh,
Dinosaurs.
You ever notice that? Yeah, dinosaur
like a
stuff?
fossil,
Fossils
trilobite.
at the zoo?
does that happen?
Gift shop?
Is that
It absolutely does.
Oh,
If
okay.
it does, I'm pissed off. About
yeah?
it.
Getting
Just
pretty
in
angry
case
about that.
I'm
Yeah.
preemptively upset.
I wish we had an angry sound.
Oh, you should get on
Like this is the
There's-
best I
there's-
have.
that. Oh yeah.
I don't know. I think an explosion is kind of neutral.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the explosion itself.
The
Wow.
explosion
Explosion-
doesn't care. But
doesn't feel one way or another.
But if
about
we're
things.
talking about, but if we're using it expressively, and Caleb is so expressive with these
Yes.
sound
Yeah.
effects, to me, it's like, well, that's what I'm doing. I'm blowing up,
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
and
All
that
right.
does seem to be emotionally freighted.
Emotional. There's an emotional,
Yeah.
reality to that.
Yeah.
You don't feel neutral
It's true.
about blowing up.
No,
I mean, if we're just talking about the way that these things feel about themselves,
That's what I'm saying.
then,
Is that
then yeah, none of these
Yeah.
things feel any way about
No.
any of the ways that they
No.
are.
right? Right.
That's-
But I think an angry sound would still be like, no, I'm pissed. Like you
It
know
would
what I
be
mean?
like,
the Wilhelm scream you have on there. Like that
Yeah.
guy's scared. That sound is scared.
well, I mean, he's dead,
Yeah.
yeah.
falling and dead.
Yeah.
I guess.
Well, he doesn't have to. I mean, you can scream like that and not die.
I immediately assume whoever did that scream is dead.
Okay.
Yeah. In most contexts, I think you're right. I'm just saying, let's admit that it's possible.
Okay.
But you can survive a gunshot.
right. It happens. Ask 50 Cent.
Sorry, yeah.
Guys,
That's his
what
soul.
else? I've got
ascending.
a question. What else would you? Hey,
Go. So he deserved it.
Yeah, he's going to hell.
what the hell? What else would you guys ask 50 Cent?
What would I ask 50 Cent?
Yeah.
Gabe
said,
what kind of
you know-
vitamins are in that water?
Yeah.
Doesn't
it,
seem.
it tells you on the bottle.
Does 50 Cent have a water?
Yeah, he's a partial owner in Vitamin Water and Smart Water.
Oh, wow.
He's I saw a clip of him talking about it, and you're like, dang, dude, business mindset on this guy.
Oh yeah,
Grind
business
set.
Impressive.
mindset.
He's just like,
Grind
it was
set.
literally him being like, oh, you can kind of just charge whatever you want for water, and it's water, so people will buy it. So I'm just gonna invest in this company. And
How much money you put at 50 cents?
that's probably
that's enough.
his initial. Yeah, and that started to turn over, a couple half cents every other month or something, and he was getting really impressed by the returns. So then he went in with $10 million.
Yeah.
Just see how the initial 50-cent investment works for you.
It's smart. Just try it
And
out
then
there
if you
first.
scale it,
Right.
yeah.
Think about that. Gabe is the habitat designer at the zoo. Who cares if we have amazing animals, even some Italian ones, if they're just standing in the dirt with a rock or maybe a couple rocks? These beautiful habitats make animals so comfortable that they'll do literally anything in front of a crowd of people. But what we at the zoo really appreciate is how easy it is to get from one exhibit to another, because Gabe has spent most of his time not designing exhibits.
I think I know where
But-
this is going.
Crafting a system of tunnels.
Because when you said exhibits, I was like, most of the stuff I make, I don't want people to see.
We didn't ask for the tunnels, and we didn't ask him to spend so much time on them, but that's what he's done. Explain yourself, Gabe. Why'd you do that?
Just trying to beat the crowds. Honestly, not a huge fan of big crowds.
Yeah.
And what gets a big crowd more than an animal exhibit at a zoo?
Yeah.
And so I just find this the best way to navigate that particular issue.
For zookeepers to get where they need to go.
On like in special circumstances.
You seem
yes.
surprised by that. By the idea that zookeepers.
It's my tunnel system.
Now,
so.
can I guess? If you had to pick an animal, your spirit animal at the zoo, could I guess what that animal is?
Sure, you can. I'm not going to say you can't.
Okay, that's so
Go
kind
ahead.
of you.
Go ahead.
Prairie dogs.
Prairie dogs,
Gophers. Meerkats.
Have they,
Meerkats.
taken part in these
Moles.
tunnels? Are you using these? Maybe paying these
I look
animals a little
to them-
bit, for paying these animals overtime to help you out with these tunnel systems.
No, I mean the animals, they'll do the work for free. They don't,
Whoa.
as long as you kind of sell them on the vision,
Yeah.
you get a certain level of buy-in.
Yeah.
And pretty much for them, it's like, oh, tunnel, yeah, I'm down.
Oh, yeah.
Like just any tunnel going anywhere, they're
And-
interested.
Yeah.
So, can I just clarify something on this zoo?
Sure.
Are we paying these animals?
Are we paying? So you assumed that we were paying the animals?
Yeah, I thought we might be paying the animals.
No, that's
No, they get paid in exposure.
right. Exactly. It's like UCB.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's a
So
UCB
it's like,
model.
well, yeah, I mean, you're not going to get paid for this, but maybe a talent scout sees you
Yeah.
and thinks, hey, we could really use this guy in that Nabisco commercial coming up.
Yeah.
Right.
Just for the company.
And that's
Nabisco,
going to
not
be
a specific Nabisco product.
okay, just for the company Nabisco.
Yeah, it's not like we need this guy in the Nilla wafers
Yeah.
commercial. It's like
And
we
it's
want
weird that
people
you-
to be comfortable.
And what
with
animal
Nabisco.
is the Nabisco animal?
Yeah,
The
You
Nabisco.
know,
What animal is
rhinoceros?
Nabisco animal?
the albino rhino.
Albino rhino.
Yeah.
Because
Okay.
I don't know, vanilla wafers.
Yeah.
Or no, sorry,
Graham-
Nabisco.
They do graham crackers too, right?
Not
They do a lot of
Oh,
stuff.
is Honey Made a Nabisco
I
subsidiary?
don't know. For some
Okay.
reason, I thought that. Maybe not.
Yeah. No, that sounds right. But we'll have to.
Yeah. We can be sure about the Nilla wafers. We just don't even have to.
I'm pretty confident on
Yeah.
those.
So, but then that's
Chicken and biscuit.
So
It's weird.
You're choosing the albino rhino to represent all of Nabisco because of the Nilla
Got
wafer
fixated on
thing?
vanilla wafers, Caleb. I
Okay,
take
yeah.
it back. The Nabisco animal.
Yes.
I
So
don't
maybe
know.
it's a monkey.
Probably a
'cause
monkey.
It's closest
'cause
to a
it's
human.
closest to
Yeah.
humans.
Yeah.
Humans are what run Nabisco.
Yeah.
It's hard to get out of It's pretty hard to get out of that. Yep. You already heard the idea of the podcast at the beginning. We receive questions from our users and we give them definitive ironclad answers. But the style in which we make these answers, with the same easy manner of a chimpanzee expertly throwing a handful of excrement at a fat child.
Wow.
Yeah. I like that because there is something so like wantonly chaotic about the act of flinging feces.
Yeah.
But doing that with precision and skill.
Yes.
That brings a nice juxtaposition to it. And I think actually, Josh, I just have to say really accurately describes what we're doing here and the way in which we do what
there
we
is
do.
something, we're doing something very low at a very high level.
Oh, absolutely.
You think we're doing something else when you first listen.
Right.
And then all of a sudden, it's not what you thought.
Yeah, maybe even
All of a
based
sudden,
on...
sorry. Oh, that wrong thing.
Okay.
Just all of a sudden,
Yeah.
that's the arc.
High, low.
It's a really, but see, the arc is quite beautiful. Like,
Yes.
you kind of get caught up just watching that amazing arc.
Yeah.
Right.
As it's
and
as that projectile is approaching you.
Yeah.
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 Like a good spiral on a football.
Yeah.
On American football.
Yep. It's very
Kind
beautiful.
of like that. It's
Caleb's
beautiful. and it's
Making up for the
ascension.
last couple of weeks where he forgot the soundboard here.
Yeah, I'm hitting it hard.
So
Going all in.
Or it's like
we want all of these sounds to be prepped and ready, and so he's just shaking off the rust.
that's pretty good.
That
if
is
it's like hard,
impressive.
Yeah. If there's a hard kernel.
that combined with because
No,
it's
no.
not all hard.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
There's a part.
Yeah. Yeah, and these monkeys are able to fashion something like that pretty quickly.
And Hard Colonel, is that the guy from Full Metal Jacket?
Yeah, that's Arlie Ernie
Yeah.
was
Hard
playing
Colonel.
Hard Colonel.
Hard Colonel 1.
Yeah.
And is that
What is your major malfunction?
Yeah.
is that Joe Biden's other friend? Not popcorn.
Popcorn.
There's popcorn. Here's Hard Colonel.
No, it's corn pop. It's
That's
not
corn pop.
popcorn.
It's not popcorn.
Well,
That's,
yeah, but I mean, you're gonna have a friend named Corn Pop and
I-
not a friend
Caleb-
named Popcorn.
Caleb was listing in the way
Probably.
that he might come up on if you're going through like a roster for class.
Yeah, exactly.
First name Corn,
Pop.
last name
Corn.
Pop.
Yeah.
I got clipped by a Subaru and the momentum rolled me into a culvert and I sustained myriad injuries during all of this, but while I was waiting for my family to find me down there, I had some time to think. You ever see a neighbor in a completely different context and learn something new about them? It's kind of that thing of seeing a teacher outside of school. You see your neighbor at the farmer's market and you're like, okay, this guy's into vegetables. You see him at a tap house and you're like, okay, looks like my guy's into craft beers. You see him in a Seahawks jersey and you're like, okay, this guy likes wearing oversized sports jerseys in bed while he's asleep. That makes it sound like I'm creeping around peering in my neighbor's windows, and I'm not. I wouldn't do that. I just use an elaborate system of mirrors. We got a bit of audio here that from someone that I'd like to play at this point.
I'll allow it.
You'll allow it? Does this need? Does anybody have any insight about this piece of audio? Does it need any setup, or should we just?
No,
go
I think
as
you
is?
just
I
go
hope
for it.
it's there. I hope we can hear it.
Yeah, I'm
At the very least.
at the very least,
That's my biggest hope right now.
we're all praying.
Yeah.
Hi, this is Gabe checking in from the field, and we're house sitting for folks that have a dog, so we're also dog sitting. And I've realized that walking a dog is mostly just assessing what out along the sidewalk is fine for him to pee on, and what he should maybe be prevented from covering with urine. So turns out most of it you can just let fly.
I like how realistic this seems.
Yeah. The Foley you did on it is good.
Yeah, you liked that? How I added the jangle of
the leash and collar.
the collar
Yeah.
tags on
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, I actually didn't add it. It was completely real. That was a real dog.
It's not Foley if it's just captured, I guess.
No, I don't think so. Foley implies some
Like
sort
just
of
in life.
But if we
you
use
feel that we're always doing
so then
Foley.
if we used that,
Mm.
isolated that sound and
Yeah.
used it elsewhere, then it
Yeah.
would, then you would have done Foley.
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah, if we had recorded this audio and then later filmed it
Mm-hmm.
and
Yeah.
tried to recreate it,
And use
And
this
use
as
this.
the audio.
And I
Seems
would
like a
say it would
bad way
count
to
as
do
all-
Foley, guys.
Yeah.
I agree.
Not
It's-
the right. You should film it first and then add that stuff in.
Later.
I think
Later.
that makes sense. Then you know what you need rather than being beholden to something
To the
that's
sound, the
pre-existing
less
and-
maybe less of a
Yeah.
priority
And-
is the sound. I don't know.
Well, and it's no sound is just easier to to
Fake.
You have more of a margin for error with sound,
Yeah.
right? You don't have as much of a representational comparison with sound as you do.
There's no uncanny valley with sound.
There's less of one, yeah. Anyway,
I'm
I
going to
mean-
say there's none.
okay.
You
Caleb's
don't-
going with
you
0.
think, like, so for you, like MIDI instruments are
Right.
Yeah,
That
they
was
sound
going to be my
exactly right.
exact
sounds perfect.
example.
Yeah,
of
I mean,
something.
especially if that's yeah.
Guys, if you don't know what MIDI is, it's a kind of way for people who only have GarageBand to put
Yeah.
like, horns and
Mhm.
violins on their songs.
I
Yeah.
believe it's. I could be completely wrong here, but I believe it's musical instrument digital interface.
I think that's right.
that's right, Caleb.
which I love that it's a musical instrument. I guess
yeah.
What
I
else
mean,
you gonna
I do
call
too.
it?
I love
But-
musical instruments.
Yeah.
that's my thing.
Yeah.
Is I was like, okay, what other?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Surgical.
I guess surgical.
I mean,
instrument digital
honestly,
interface.
it's one of my
What-
favorite
What do scalpels sound like?
one of my favorite aspects of doing this podcast is we get to do this. We get to record here in Josh's shop, and he's got
Yep.
he's got a piano, he's got a guitar, he's got drums.
Being surrounded
here,
by
so-
these instruments.
So I just get to sit here and just kind of luxuriate in the presence of all
bask
of these.
in it.
Isn't that
musical
interesting? Do you guys
instruments.
remember the feeling of we didn't have a drum set at our house, and if I went to somebody's house
Wow.
that had a drum set
Yeah.
when we were growing up, this feeling of salience. Like sometimes you go into somebody's house and you just don't care about anything
Sure.
that they have.
Yeah.
They've got, boring paintings on the wall,
Funko
Yeah.
Pops.
Funko Pops.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
You just don't have that feeling of salience. But when you're little and you see toys, or you
Yes.
see video games, or you see, for me, musical instrument like
Musical
a drum
instrument.
set,
Yeah.
the sudden experience of salience.
Yeah.
That's like,
Yeah, I know it. I know.
Ooh,
it.
I'm gonna get along with these guys.
yeah,
Yeah.
this is cool.
So I can get access to their drum set.
So that I could, or their Nintendo.
Yes.
And then you walk into the next room, wall to wall Funko Pops.
When you have that
Yeah.
possession-based
Yeah.
friendship
Yes.
of I'm going to do my utmost to remain friends with
Okay.
this person, despite because oftentimes in my experience it was only children that were impossible
Yeah.
to hang out with and have fun with.
Yeah.
Always
you
had
did
the
never
coolest
have
stuff.
you did never have a problem hanging out with adults. Just
What,
only children.
yeah, right. No, Caleb. I mean,
Oh, okay.
children that don't have siblings.
Yeah.
What about
so,
adults that don't have siblings?
you notice it less, I think.
Yeah.
They figured out
I
how to
do
hide
at
it.
least, but yeah. Do you guys want to know a little tidbit about that audio recording from
I do.
earlier?
Yeah.
I had to stop recording. I had a whole bunch of other really good, funny observations to go, but I had to stop recording because the dog started pooping.
Why?
Because we were on a walk.
No, why'd you stop recording?
Because I had to stop and this is the other thing about
Yeah.
house sitting a dog is you're now I have to pick up a dog's poop.
Yeah.
And
it's
I
not
didn't
good.
buy the dog.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. I mean, or you don't have to, like my new neighbors
No,
believe.
thank you. Yeah.
My new neighbors believe don't need to pick up.
I would rather be
Why
a
would you?
person who has to pick up dog poop than be the person who doesn't.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think you're doing the right thing.
Oh yeah, yeah. God smiles on you.
Well, and here's the other thing. When I picked up the dog poop, I put it was in the bag, and I carried the bag to a trash can and threw it away,
Wow.
which a lot of people seem to struggle with also.
Yeah.
I guess one of my neighbors struggles with that because oftentimes I will just see just a bag of dog poop sitting in the middle of the sidewalk for
Nice.
days, and it's so petty because I'm like, I'm not going to pick that
Right.
up. That's
Right.
insane.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
I'm not
it
going
does
to pick
happen.
that up and put it with my collection.
No.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not your.
I didn't get it, so it doesn't deserve to be with my collection.
I wasn't there.
Yeah. I don't know which dog this is from, so why would I even put it in there? What category
And
would I
that
put
was-
it in? Am I going to put it
Yeah.
in the miscellaneous category?
I mean,
that's insane.
That's getting quite full.
yeah. Listen. Is there room?
yeah.
Does this specimen deserve to be there?
No.
Probably
Doesn't.
not.
Doesn't.
Guys,
I was going to say one
Oh,
other
sorry.
thing, which is it is crazy, right? You get
Mhm.
asked to house sit, and then there's all this other sitting that has to happen.
Yes. Right.
You know?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought I was just sitting the house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now I got a dog sit. Now I've got a plant sit.
Right.
If they're those people.
Yeah.
Now I've got
Yeah, we
a.
did-
So wait, the house, right, obviously involves all of the rooms.
Yeah.
Right.
But the yard,
Yeah.
am I yard sitting?
Now-
Am I, what is in.
Could you please?
We've expanded this a lot. I thought I was going to be at your house.
We
and
understood.
Your dog is, I don't know. He's just here.
We agreed.
He's along for the ride.
When we
right.
agreed to house sit, we understood that we would also be dog sitting
Yeah.
and plant sitting.
But I'm saying people do this.
And then we got a perk, though. We did get a perk,
What's that?
which is we got to fridge sit as well, which means
Yeah.
you can eat whatever's in the fridge.
Yep.
And it's good stuff.
And there was, I was happy. There was some beer. They said drink some beer.
Oh,
And
wow.
I said no problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then there was English muffins. I gobbled
In the
those
fridge.
up. Yeah, in the fridge to
Weird.
preserve freshness.
Okay.
I guess. I don't know. But they said anything in the fridge, and
Nothing
I'm
on
not-
top of the fridge?
I didn't put the English muffins in the fridge
Right.
so that I could
Could
make
have a
legal
couple.
claim to them.
You didn't want to chill
Hey,
the nooks and
so-
crannies.
Hey, so you guys said anything in the fridge? Okay, cool.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
great.
be coming over tomorrow before you leave, and I just want to hang out.
You think it's got to be before they leave? Anything they
hold on,
leave in the fridge?
secretly move things you want to eat
Into the fridge.
Yeah.
before
Yeah.
they leave.
While they're there.
yeah,
I
while
don't.
they're there. So then when they leave, you go,
Yeah.
well, it's in the
Oh,
fridge
interesting.
before you left.
Yeah,
Tacit. That I take this as tacit agreement.
yeah.
Yeah,
I
and
think
you put
so.
all
What-
kinds of stuff in there.
What
But you're
kinds of
like-
things would you think that he would need to move into the fridge?
Well, I was gonna say you could put like whatever Bluetooth speakers they have around.
You could just
So-
eat them.
Well, I mean, the idea that is that,
Oh, they
that
did
you
say
would
you can
eat them.
have.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
can
Did
that's
they
have
say
it.
you can eat
So
whatever's
look,
in the fridge,
I
or they
don't-
say you can have
Yeah.
anything in the fridge?
As long
good.
as at some point in the future you do eat the Bluetooth speaker, you know.
Well, you do wanna-
You can have it around. It's not going to spoil.
You don't want to be
No.
just a letter of the law kind of guy. You want to go with the spirit.
Yeah,
Right. That's
yeah,
true.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So you get out, you play some music on it.
Yeah.
You're wondering, is it good?
Yeah.
Maybe I'm done with this, so it is going to be time to buckle up.
Right. Yeah. I gotta eat this Bluetooth speaker.
Hey everyone, maybe you heard about the huge pit downtown. I owned the building that was where the huge pit is now. When we tore down the building, well, that's when we found the pit. It's $20 to throw stuff in the pit. As far as I can tell, the pit is like Winnie the Pooh or Donald Duck. Bottomless. I don't really care what you throw in the pit. Make sure you never want it back though, because it will be gone. This is not a landfill. Stuff that goes in the pit might fall for thousands of feet, or it might leave this plane of existence. I'm not sure. It seems like sometimes when people throw things away in the pit, they forget that the things ever existed. Sometimes it seems like all memory of the object is completely wiped out. But you can throw whatever you want into the pit, and it's only
I got some bad news. And
no.
as usual,
Did you burn your tongue?
Nope.
Okay.
Not that. I mean, I have.
Yeah.
And I did again after that.
On beans?
But
It wasn't hot beans.
That's old bad news.
That's old bad
Here's
news.
some new bad news.
Yep. So yeah, here's a song that I think says it better than I could.
Dad holds a little girl while baby gets baptized. Girl looks me in the face, locks on with both her eyes. I smile and wave, but her expression stays remote. Little girl sticks out her thumb, draws it across her throat. 3-year-old girl threatened to behead me. 3-year-old girl never thought her deadly. The service needs to stay on track. The agenda shouldn't swirl. But maybe we should take some time and exercise this little girl.
That happened. Have you ever been at a baptism? You're in church. You know, the whole family will often go up
Yeah.
for a child to be baptized.
Right.
And so the dad was holding this little girl. She's looking back over his shoulder, and then she did lock eyes with me and go
Oh,
like
wow.
that during the baptism.
Holy moly.
Yeah.
Now, then did you console yourself by going,
That's not a knife.
yeah.
It was I was glad that she hadn't actually
yeah.
used a knife.
Yeah. And to be like, she probably, yeah.
And because at least in that situation, it's up to chance about whether or not she does have a knife.
Yeah. She might try to do this, though.
Yeah.
You know, and then
That's not a knife.
Try to. Sorry, can you?
Yeah.
Just walk that back a little bit. She might try to bite.
Okay.
bite, yeah.
What?
You.
Oh.
Your head off.
Bite.
That's
Oh
not
yeah,
a
I
knife.
guess that didn't seem to be what the gesture. Yeah, she didn't do
Mouth.
Caleb's.
Hand mouth
Yeah,
across
if you
the
could.
chest.
Yes.
Oh,
She got
okay.
like
chest, but neck.
Caleb's doing a motion that I think will be instantly recognizable to all of you, which is
Hand
Chomping.
mouth.
to make a little mouth from your hand.
Yeah.
Honestly,
chomp, chomp, chomp,
mostly
across the
used
throat.
to
Across the
signify talking.
Talking.
That's
usually.
kind of what it was. But it was multiple bites to.
Oh, you're going to feel it, yeah.
Yeah, but to bite your head off, yeah. But it seemed pretty bold.
That's
I
insane.
think we need to. I think that girl requires some kind of spiritual
She
guidance.
And
has
you
an
felt
unclean
like
spirit.
she knew what she was doing. It
Yeah.
wasn't like
No.
some kind of, like, that's how she itches that line across her neck.
No.
I mean, oftentimes young children won't even have that line,
Yeah.
Yeah.
that crease.
The little crease in there. Yeah.
I
They're
mean,
so
it might be
fresh.
a roll.
Oh,
They
I
could.
mean,
Maybe not a
little
crease.
kids could. They get fat necks.
Yeah.
My
Lil-
my baby has a ton of creases.
Little
Yeah.
kids got fat necks.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, that is troubling.
Yeah.
And maybe you're thinking, hey, while you're up there,
Yeah.
maybe get some of that holy water on that kid.
That's
Yeah.
kind of what I was thinking.
That
Just
kid
to
might,
test
might
out.
need a re-up.
Yeah.
See, like, what happens? Is it, like, singe her?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Or she gets the holy water on her and it's like,
Yeah. It makes her cool. Makes her
Yeah.
really cool.
I guess I've never. I guess it's true. Usually, you see kind of holy water has relatively little effect on somebody visibly,
yeah.
or it causes somebody to go.
Yeah,
That's
right.
kind of, that's true. You don't see, like,
You don't see like, oh wow, you just like sunglasses descend.
oh, yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
Holy Spirit.
yeah. That
Yeah.
doesn't happen.
Yeah, no.
And
That
it
would
should. I think it should
I think it's a real
happen.
problem.
I mean, look, if you could tell, like, if it would be maybe one of the signs that, like an outward sign of an inward grace that
Right.
Yes.
that this would play. And then
Yep.
sunglasses would descend on someone when they're baptized and truly regenerate.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That would be helpful.
it would be really helpful.
No one's gonna forget that.
God, it is a grace that God has simply denied us.
Yeah, and there's a reason for that. Look, I'm not going to say that I
No.
know better.
No.
And this is a foolish, impulse
Yeah.
of mine and probably ours to desire this kind of, thing. Honestly, the thing that we should probably wish more is that a dove would come down. We hear the voice of God instead of,
Yeah.
Yellow. Yeah.
Yeah.
But,
Here's a poem about sports. The guys have the ball. The sweat pours off the guys like rain off a Subaru. One guy smells his hands every time after he has the ball. And then he makes a face. We begin to understand that the ball doesn't smell great. The next time someone passes the ball to that guy, he pretends to be distracted and doesn't catch the ball because he's grown tired, so tired of his hands smelling bad because of the bad smelling ball. He's as tired of that as Michael Jordan is after he wins a big game. And I bet that Michael Jordan is really tired after he finishes playing in a championship. But I wonder if he's almost as tired after he talks to someone who just started therapy and meditating. I wonder if someone has ever started talking about reparenting themselves to Michael Jordan, and it has caused him to almost lose consciousness, and his blood pressure to drop dangerously low, and he has to go home and go right to bed.
Let's get to our question for the week. They had free samples of hot sauce at the grocery store, and this was a real hot front, cold front kind of situation. Samples of hot sauce at the grocery store, and then there was a crazy swarm of gnats in the produce section.
oh no.
Really?
I got gnats in both my eyes when I went to get them out. It turned out I had hot sauce on both my fingers.
Oh.
On both of my fingers, by which I mean just all over my hands. But both of the fingers I was using to try to get the
I
gnats
would hope, okay.
out. So I got ejected from the grocery store by the bouncer. And then I was just sitting in front of the grocery store, basically a blind man
Mm-hmm.
Oh, no.
sitting in front of the grocery store. I hear a friendly voice. It's Joy. She's so kind and helpful.
Oh,
Yes.
She says she's there in a big truck. She's going to help me out. She helped me find my car, and then she called my cell, and she said that she would coach my driving over the phone.
Really?
Yes. Because obviously I'm still blinded
Right.
by hot sauce. Can't see a thing.
Yeah.
So she's going to drive behind me and call out my moves.
Yeah.
And that worked surprisingly well. The only problem was Joy's turn off to her house is slightly before mine.
Oh, no.
Oh,
So you were
yeah.
kind of...
But she's really kind. She said, I really believe that you could make it the last couple blocks without me.
Yeah. Yeah.
And when you get somebody
That's
who's
just
just
who
able
she
to
is.
speak that,
Yeah.
she's so helpful.
Yeah.
She's just speaking that kind of confidence
Yeah.
into your life. You're like,
Absolutely.
it helped. I
gives you
believe
confidence,
It really
yeah.
helped me believe in myself. And so I drove the last little bit to my house, totally blind by
Wow.
myself. I got a little off the route at one point, but thank God the under nines on the soccer field were so nimble.
Yeah. Yes. Off the rod?
Off the route.
Route. I said,
Oh,
did
right.
I say
Okay.
rod?
It could be me.
I had to discern.
Okay.
I
I'm
did.
sorry.
I just was trying to figure out route or
Off the route.
road.
It's-
Off the road, the route, rod.
Let's
It's moments like
do
that.
it again.
Okay, we'll do it again.
I drove the last little bit totally blind by myself. I got a little off the route at one point.
That was better.
Okay.
But thank God the under nines on the soccer field were so nimble.
Yes. Okay.
Wow. I mean, I feel like what we saw there, I kind of, when you said route and it kind of sounded like rod,
Yeah.
and Caleb thought you said rod.
Yeah.
And there was that sort of moment of like,
Uh-oh.
I saw the podcast flash before my eyes. I was like,
Yeah.
this is it. This
Yeah.
is the end.
We're done.
This is going to be the thing, the dispute
We
that
will
breaks
not
us.
recover.
But here we are.
The end of the podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, not yet though.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Uh,
Boy, it's
Wow.
looming, but it's not here yet.
At least a podcast name change is looming.
Oh, sure. A rebrand is in
right
the
on
offing.
horizon.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
know we're almost up to, this is 38.
So we can keep
39.
Yeah.
This
That's
is
a record. That's our record.
It's about
Yep.
when we start to switch things up. But we'll just
And
have
that's
to
just
see.
so our listeners are nimble.
Right. Like these small children on the
Where
soccer
are these
field.
guys now? You know, we're kind of scooting around. Different kind of abodes, podcasts. I like to think of the name of the podcast as sort of a home for us.
We're like a nomadic tribe.
Yeah.
Yep.
We're setting up camp over here now. Same tent, same basic arrangement, different land.
The land is the podcast.
Where we choose to set up the land.
The land?
I don't know.
The country is podcasting. The
Maybe we can sort that out in an intro.
maybe
we can do.
We could do
it
a
does
while
sound
on
like
that.
intro fodder. for sure.
So, did you get back on track after this, or did the car still over there?
Made it home.
Okay.
Yep.
Oh yeah, right. Okay.
Yeah.
So you got okay.
Yeah. I one of the uprights, for the net.
Yeah.
I kind of got flung into the car,
Oh, okay.
and so then I was able to,
Okay.
like a blind person
Like a blind
walking.
person. Yeah. Use a big
I could use a big
part of the goal
part of the goal
to kind of feel your way through so you could feel the rumble strip.
back to the road.
right.
Okay.
And get back on the road. Get to my house.
And you're
So you
like
can-
swinging around. You're like, no, that's a kid.
Yeah.
You're like,
Oh, that
smacking
seems like a
kids.
curb of some sort.
Yep. Oh, that's a dog.
That was a kid.
Oh my gosh, that's another car.
Oh, that's Gabe walking
Yep.
the dog.
That's right.
Yeah.
Oh,
my
and then
gosh.
there he goes down one of his tunnels. Dog doesn't like the tunnels.
No.
And you
Has
don't
a
want
bit of a
dogs
claustro-
doing their mess in a tunnel. That's
Not in
disgusting.
my tunnels. No. No.
Have you ever seen Great Escape?
No, I've never seen it.
Okay.
Why? What made you
Oh,
think of
you
that?
might find it interesting.
Really?
Yeah, you might like it.
Oh, okay.
You
I'll
might,
have to check
you
it
might
out.
get some ideas.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's get to Joy's question.
I've been trying to teach our kids some family mantras that are like for us. And I said, Samsons don't cry over spilled milk. And one of my kids took that as like a free pass to just drink as much milk as they wanted, fill their cups as full as they wanted, and spill it if I looked frustrated at all at the milk being spilled all over the place, he would go, Mom, Samsons don't cry over spilled milk. And I feel kind of trapped in my own words. And I'm just curious, what are your guys' family mantras, and have they ever backfired on you?
Hoisted on your own petard.
Yeah.
So, one quick thing. Well, two quick things, if you'll allow me.
There's always,
And,
stuff to address.
Yeah.
So when you said one, I thought, probably not. When you
Okay.
said quick, I also thought probably not.
Right. And you were right about that first part, that there's two.
Mm-hmm.
She says that this mantra is, for one, it's a mantra.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's interesting. That's something you're supposed to repeat to yourself, kind of incessantly.
So we could get. I was curious. Would we go there? Would we hold Joy's feet to the fire
Yeah.
about whether or not this is?
And ultimately,
We
the
don't have
question
to.
you're asking is, are we going to be so incredibly pedantic?
We
And
could
the
be.
answer
We
is
could be. I just thought it was.
unilaterally,
It
yes.
was
I think we
just
should.
an interesting
I think we should
thing.
talk about it. I
It
think
was
we
just
should
an
talk
interesting
about
thing
it.
to me to think, like,
Yeah.
if you were like holding this thing as a mantra in your head, then it is sort of like, maybe it makes more sense the behavior of her son
Right.
to sort of test it. Are
Yeah.
we doing this enough? Maybe there's something there. I don't know. We don't have to go into that.
No,
I just was,
but it is.
it's like a family saying.
a family saying,
motto.
A motto.
maybe a motto. You could see it one of those ways. So a mantra, maybe, but it's also one of those things where as a word like mantra enters our broader vocabulary,
Yeah.
starts
Yeah.
to take on different.
true.
It might have its denotative value, but it will gain connotation.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and so
What you said.
So I think there's always the
Another one for the
possibility.
poets.
Another one for the poets out
Yeah.
there. But yeah, maybe you're thinking that this is kind of a family motto or some kind of parabolic saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like a motto.
Do not cry over spilled
Right.
milk.
Yep. So that seems entirely possible. But I think we should kind of address it both ways. You guys have any family mantras where you
I mean, I know I had one when I was growing up. Like in not my family, not my household, but the household I was a part of, which is when you open a door, you shut it.
Yep.
When you open a door,
And
you shut
so-
it.
and so,
when
like,
you get
when
the
you're-
milk out, you put it away.
So,
when
like,
you get
when
the milk
you-
out,
yeah.
you put it away.
Yeah.
when you
When
would
get the
wake
milk
up
out.
in the morning.
Weirdly milk related.
Yeah.
Lots of milk.
When you would wake up in the morning, it's time to meditate.
Yep. When you open a door,
When
you
you
shut it.
when you get something out, you put it away.
Yeah,
When
yeah.
get
You could
something
use
out,
the more general
that
idea.
was the one, and that's one that you're tasked with. You get chips out of the cupboard. Leave them out. You are then tasked with standing by the cupboard.
And then your guru
Yes,
your
that's
guru
right.
comes.
Yeah, comes in and says, this is how you'll reach enlightenment.
Yeah.
And sometimes we were allowed to call him our goo-goo. Just
Yeah,
that's sort of a
I
nice,
chose not to. But
For the youngers,
Yeah.
sometimes it was your goo goo gaga.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
You're really little. And I mean, he did start to realize I need to
Start
get
this
them going
earlier.
early
Yeah,
on this.
On this.
But yeah, you just stand there and you open the door.
Yeah.
You take the chips out, and then you put the chips back, and then you close the door and you say, when we get something out, we put it away.
Yeah.
Yep.
And that, as a mantra, has not. I wouldn't say that it's backfired, but I do think that I still encounter some of the lasting effects of that particular mantra, which is that like while my wife is making dinner or whatever, I will try to help out. I'll try to be helpful, and I'll start to put things away behind her,
Yeah.
kind of as she's moving along. But oftentimes I put stuff away that she's going to use again in just a few seconds,
Sure.
and then that causes her to be like, "Can you not? Like, I'll put this stuff away when I'm done
I'm kind
with
of
it."
imagining like a Tasmanian devil in the kitchen, and then
short
if
of.
Taz had some kind of wife or husband or something,
Yeah,
that like if Taz was a woman, it would be
a husband.
a husband. Yeah.
Yeah.
That would be coming behind and kind of like, okay, we did what we were doing here. I'll put it back.
Yeah.
Put things
It's a very
back.
codependent relationship.
Yeah.
He's not the Transmanian devil.
Yeah. Transmanian.
That's
devil.
not very good.
Well, can't win them all.
Wayne Gretzky,
But
Shots on goal.
shots on goal.
Okay, I see what you're saying there. That Taz then looks back behind him and goes,
Yeah.
"Hey, didn't I just? I was about to come back and
Didn't I
mess
just
that up again.
Yeah,
Destroy this
exactly.
room.
No, I'm not saying my wife is destroying the room
right,
at
right,
all.
right.
I'm
Don't
just
take
saying
it
that
literally, just
I'm putting. So I'd say that's the extent that it's backfired, but that also wasn't my own doing.
Yeah.
So I can't.
That hasn't backfired as much. What if we were to think about this more in terms of mottos instead of mantras?
Mantras.
Is that-
Yeah.
But I did have one. I guess I had one other like mantra, this might fall more in the motto category. Actually, we did say growing up, Stevenson's make better doors than windows.
definitely,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was a family motto.
definitely. And boy, did Dad have us working on those doors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we just didn't really do the windows at all.
We did.
Yeah.
I never felt that I became a good window.
No.
No.
So it
no.
was. You just did kind of start to accept your fate as a door.
Yeah, you would stand in front of the TV and then hinge away.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And then you go, well, I am a door, so put me in the... I'm not really being a door if I'm open,
Right.
as we've talked about before.
Yep.
It all agreed on.
Yep.
The door is
So
in
back to
the
being a
off
door,
position.
so
when
hinge
you
back
wanna
and
turn it
Dad
on.
would say it again.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, the only motto that has really come up for me is the it's a tool, not a toy. I feel like I use that one a lot. Because I have a child that can't distinguish between the two things. Very well. So just try to guide that.
So would you say it's like Stevenson's believe?
Is that required of a motto?
A tool. I was just trying to think in Joy's
terms.
Sure.
You don't have to.
Yeah, we can do that. Yeah, we can do that. Yeah. Stevenson's use this as a tool, and Stevenson's don't use this as a tool.
I think that's good to get it in there as much as possible.
Yeah. No, that's good.
So
that's good.
That
is good.
We have sort of in my household kind of, it's an evolving thing. One that we had initially was, then this did backfire on us. I used to say, this is not in the Joy sort of template.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
Right.
But maybe I could put it in.
Well, we can figure it
let's
out.
See.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I used to say nothing is worth fighting over.
Wow.
Okay. And
is that
what I
nihilism
meant,
or
what I meant? It is a little bit nihilistic, but there's just so much fighting.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Nothing is worth fighting over. And what we meant was there's no reason to get into some stupid fight.
Right.
Right. But then my children took that as absolutely anything. Nothing.
Nothing
itself is worth fighting over.
Yeah.
Right.
That's true.
That's how they took it. And
especially if somebody has more nothing than you do, then you don't.
Yeah. Oh my gosh! Look at how much space they have. Yeah. In the car seat.
Yeah.
That's nothing. Yep. That's what. Hey. There's too much stuff. There's too much here.
Yeah.
And now I'm fighting over it because you have a seat where there's nothing.
And
let's fight.
That is such a good specific, and it did come up.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I have one. I have one for my family.
Okay.
Oh,
because that was from
We can circle back. I got some.
Yeah.
Do you have another one?
Yeah. But that's.
I can wait.
No.
I'd
say
wait.
let's
I'll wait.
break
I'll
it
wait.
up. Let's break it up.
Okay, I'll go.
Yeah.
Okay. Here's mine. 2 birds in the bush is better than none in the hand because this family believes in the freedom of birds.
That's good.
So that's one that I've taught my kids.
And has it sort of, have you been hoisted on your own petard? Has that come back to you?
Okay, it kind of depends on what you think.
Yeah.
So, would you consider that if my whole family was arrested after a failed attempt to free birds from a sanctuary backfiring? Yeah. Is that backfiring?
Right. No, I don't think so. I mean, that's tricky. You guys really believed that.
So we're all doing it.
So you did suffer for your beliefs.
It's not exactly backfiring. Some people might say it's backfiring, but that's what I was trying to figure out. But I guess, Also, a sanctuary. This is the thing I can't get over. Bird sanctuary.
Yeah.
Okay, so what? What's next?
Yeah.
What's next? Like, is a penitentiary a criminal sanctuary?
Right.
Yeah. That's right.
Yeah.
Just where...
Oh, so these birds aren't allowed to leave the sanctuary?
The sanctuary.
Yeah.
It's like, it's a prison.
Yeah. It's a bird prison.
It's a bird prison.
And they're covering, and they're just trying to whitewash that.
Right.
And that's somebody who's grown up, who's really taken that motto of your family to heart. They're just not going to be able to see things that way.
They're not going to be able to see things that way.
Yeah.
And then also, like, if it is a sanctuary, like you're saying, and not a prison, then let's see some pews.
Right.
Let's see. I don't know.
Well, no,
some
hymnals.
Technically, some bird hymnals, bird pews,
like
bird hymnals.
Those are things that are all in the nave, Caleb. Like the sanctuary is up there.
You
got all the cloud of witnesses.
I guess it depends on which.
You got
I guess it depends
altar,
on which tradition you're going with.
You do want to see at least some kind of pigeon or egret in a robe.
Yes.
Yeah,
right. Someone who's in charge.
Right.
Yeah. And of course you're like, does that heron have apostolic succession?
Right.
Starts to bring up these sorts of questions.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. And I'm like, so it's not really a sanctuary. It's a prison. We know that now.
Yeah. Right.
And then we get in trouble. Mm-hmm. Anyway.
Yep. Yeah.
It's one of the sayings.
We had like I said, we've kind of had to try on a couple of different ones over time. One of ours used to be Stevenson's "Don't teach the younger cousins profanity." That we had to get rid of that one because that just was what Stevenson's were doing
At a certain point.
So,
it became kind of a defining characteristic.
So it was like, okay, at a certain point these things become lies.
Yeah.
Stevenson's don't involve the younger cousins in MLM schemes.
Yeah.
Multi-level marketing pyramid stuff that
just within the family,
And
just with sort of the my children and their younger cousins.
and that's just practical because the revenue potential is so great.
It's still
It's so
even just
significant.
within that.
Yeah.
You know,
you cannot turn your nose up at that
that kind of
the
money.
money's green.
yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Have you guys ever thought of like maybe we should start, what they did with the Native Americans and how you have to have so much blood to have to get some of the benefits? Maybe we should start thinking about that with our family.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
Proof of
Because we have a large family.
We have a large
It's kind of-
family.
if it's not clear to those,
lots of siblings, and those siblings have all had
Bunch of
number
kids.
of children.
yeah. So maybe we should, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's just something worth thinking about. Maybe not on the podcast.
Set up
but
some
this
standards.
later. Yeah.
Kind of like, okay, we need to be able to demonstrate X amount of rich, pure Stevenson blood.
Right. That and like, okay, you might have the blood, but have you been living like a Stevenson?
Yeah.
You
That's
know?
good.
That's
There's like a
partially what made me think of
conduct.
this.
Yeah.
yeah,
Are your kids teaching other kids profanity?
Right.
right.
Yeah.
So like
Are they
incentivize
even
that
doing
behavior
that? Yeah.
potentially.
If you can't prove to me that your kid has taught another kid any swear words,
Yeah.
you are
Yeah.
not getting.
I'm sorry.
You can't join us in this casino venture.
Yeah. It will. Yeah. It will be gambling.
Yeah.
based.
No points. You get no points on the back end.
Nope.
No.
But the one that we're working on right now.
Just because we kind of mentioned money.
Yeah, thank you. And in my family, this is the one that we're currently operating with, and that's Stevensons are not directly responsible for lethal car accidents.
Oh.
We've gotten to that point now.
Okay.
Okay, but we have one child who really seems to be committed to undermining this new family mantra motto.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
They want to. They're maybe. You think they're like purposely doing it, or
It's an
like
active commitment.
It's you just at a certain point, the decisions that are being made as they're piloting a car,
right?
you just have to think they seem to be gunning for this motto.
Yeah.
Have they done anything where like have you guys seen Mad Max? Wouldn't that be fun?
Yeah, they
did
haven't
Mad Max.
intimated anything like that, or
We took a man and put him on the front of our car.
yeah. Stevensons don't use blood boys or blood bags or
Blood
what?
bags.
Blood
Blood bags.
bags.
Yeah, no, yeah. I mean that's
It hasn't got that bad.
It hasn't gotten quite that bad.
Okay.
But it's I could definitely see that one of our previous mottos was Stevensons don't have enormous spikes coming out of the the wheels of our cars.
Yes.
Right.
Okay. But that's gone. That's out of the way now. Yeah. I mean, that would be honestly if I saw one of your kids driving around and they had a man
Yeah.
strapped to the
Strapped to the front of the car.
Honestly, it would be like very surprising and kind of horrifying, but I honestly, part of me would be impressed.
Sure.
Right.
And
That's
you'd
a
be
lot of
like,
work.
and you'd be pointing, you'd be saying, "That's a Stevenson. That's a Stevenson."
That's
Kind of
Stevenson.
claiming
It's
them.
another motto down.
Yeah.
Yep.
You're claiming
It's sort of
their-
in some way, it's sort of like maybe we shouldn't make these mottos.
yeah. Yeah.
Like don't make them so specific.
Right.
And that is one thing that I would say to listeners who are trying to, kind of use some of this information for themselves.
Yeah.
Is be careful. It is a two-edged sword. You are trying to use a motto or mantra to direct your family's life.
Yeah.
Right.
But sometimes there's an ambiguity about which way
Right.
it's going to direct your family.
Yep.
Yeah. And
But
I mean,
be careful.
Yeah. Is it going to be a Michael Bay or is it going to be Steven Spielberg?
Right. Yeah.
yeah.
Which, yeah.
And
for us, it's much more of an Altman kind of.
Oh yeah.
That sort of thing.
It's a lot of people talking over each other.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
The real mine's like not a director but Aaron Sorkin.
Yeah.
Walking and talking. My kids and I are walking around our house.
Oh yeah.
Kind of a West Wing.
Yeah.
Kind of like a familial
Walk
West
with me.
Wing. Yeah. Okay, you want to do what? You want a coloring page? Okay, walk with me over here.
Yeah.
While I'm doing that, we're gonna
discuss.
We're gonna try and make a quesadilla.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. What do you want on your quesadilla? They're like, yeah.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
just a ton of communication happening.
You want Elsa
Or
on
me
your quesadilla?
frequently.
And then you're like, that's a coloring
And I'm
page.
kind of lying when it's me doing that. It's usually like, go ask your mom.
Right.
And
Right.
That's all kind of happening to my
And
mom.
now
My
she's-
mom's their mom.
Yeah.
Not my mom.
No.
Look, not my mom.
Yeah.
My kid's mom.
Right.
You're
She's
gonna have
like
to ask
the
my mom
president of
about
the
that.
family, you
Right.
know. Not in all ways,
Right.
okay? I have executive orders that I can execute,
Yeah.
okay? But as far
Sure.
as what, hey, I guess not the president. What is she? She's like I don't know politics enough to
Yeah,
really,
she's
to really
like
do
The
this,
Secretary
honestly.
of State.
She's
Yeah.
the Secretary of State.
There you go.
Yeah,
There
my
you go.
wife is the Secretary of
Yeah.
State. and
Secretary
so
of
I'm kinda like-
Defense, maybe.
and it's like these other, political actors
Yeah.
are kind of trying to circumvent
Yeah.
the whole hierarchy
You have
that we have set up.
You have a whole house full of lobbyists.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
These lobbyists. I would like to have a coloring page before lunch. No, we've talked about this.
Yeah.
But I'm saying these are the reasons why
Yeah.
if I had a coloring page before lunch.
It's going to be good for the family
Yeah.
if I have this beforehand. Yeah. And I was wondering, actually, Joy, more directly to her situation.
Yeah.
More directly relevant to her situation could be making amendments to the mottos, adding additional mottos as
Yes.
those, because I was thinking, Samsons don't cry over spilled milk.
Yeah.
That's great. But you could also say Samsons don't intentionally spill milk
Yeah.
to provoke
Yeah.
their mothers.
Yeah, that's right.
Yep.
That's just a reality, is that when you introduce a law, you're going to run into situations where you
Yes.
need to amend
Yeah.
things.
Yeah.
You need to make
Yeah.
clarifications and additions. So I think that's good. Samsons don't cry over spilled milk or intentionally spill milk everywhere.
And Samsons are careful when they're pouring and drinking milk.
Let's just say
If a
around
Samson should spill some milk, there won't be any tears from that Samson.
Samsons are careful around milk.
That sort of exactly.
Something brief. But honestly, like there's a
Samsons are careful about milk and ultimately, kind of ambivalent about the
where
fate
milk
of
is.
the milk.
Yeah.
I
Samsons
think
are
that
careful
might
around
be-
milk and ambivalent about where milk
Yeah.
is.
Yeah, right. Sure.
And if you'll refer to Section 2A,
Right.
right.
But see,
You'll
I
find-
have sort of a fear about this
Yeah.
going this route because you're kind of leaning into the literal interpretation of this idea,
Yeah.
right? Right, like the idea of spilled milk is
Right.
not so much like that people were crying all the time over milk.
Yeah.
It's just that little things don't make you upset.
Right.
Right?
That's
sort of
what
the
that means?
heart. Yes, Gabe. Does that?
It's very helpful.
Okay.
Yes.
Very helpful.
That's at least that was sort of I don't know. That's what I was raised to believe.
No, I think that Caleb, it seems like something that I heard so much.
Yeah.
And I only ever was able to kind of stay on the surface
Yeah.
of the teaching.
Because the tensions, it's a little bit
It's
more.
the
there's a
surface tension
greater
of the
tension
milk
of milk
compared to
yeah.
water.
Yeah,
It's
It
just
just makes so much sense too, because it's like there's always more milk.
Yeah.
yeah,
You're always going to have more milk.
you could, yeah, pretty much, yeah, pretty much.
So why start crying now?
Don't cry over it. Well, so my thing was maybe the second motto could be, don't take the other mantras literally.
Right.
Okay.
That kind of solves a lot.
Yeah. Don't be
Could
so
be.
pedantic about something
Samson's
that's
And
given
look,
to
that's
you.
coming from me.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Yeah.
So feel free to dismiss it. Is that what you mean? Or
I don't know if I believe that.
Okay. And here's a solution that I don't believe in.
I'm just throwing these ideas out there. I would actually kind of be relieved if you guys voted that down.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I'm going to say no. I don't think that's good. I don't think
because that kind of solves too much.
Right.
Yeah.
We don't want to cut. We don't. So much of your diet is pedantry and literalism.
I might starve.
And so we don't want to cut that out.
If I can't do that anymore, then I'm kind of like, I guess I'll just
What you say?
press these buttons.
Push the buttons.
Yeah.
And, it is pretty telling that you push the rifle shot first.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I guess I'll get on a high building somewhere.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, because it doesn't...
And press this rifle's button.
Make sure this rifle has the button.
Press shoot.
I'm going to make sure this rifle has the button, the power of the button. If the trigger is a button, what is a bullet?
The
sound.
Yes, right. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's the sound.
Yep.
Yeah.
If a rifle is a soundboard,
right,
then the bullets are the sounds.
Yes.
Wouldn't it be funny if
the trigger is the button?
In military application, they stopped using the term fire to mean fire weapons, but they just said press shoot.
Press shoot. Yeah. It just eventually
press shoot at will.
RT. Right trigger. Right trigger.
Well, some people might be left-handed.
No, they're not. They're doing the same thing though.
It's one trigger, but I would say it probably.
But I'm saying if you're using video games,
I'm not talking about it.
You're just saying press
that's
shoot.
what I'm saying. Is
press
that
shoot.
They were just like, it's shoot.
Joy, I hope
and it says shoot on the trigger. That would be helpful too. Sorry.
That's okay. Joy, I hope that's helpful. That you're able to kind of get your household in order with better mantras.
Yeah.
It sounds like what we're really recommending is find some additional mantras to add. You could get into mantra bloat at a certain point. You have to be careful.
Yeah, you need to look ahead.
You need to balance it.
You need to look ahead and try to hedge off any kind of mantra bloat.
And
you're going to need to have some kind of special vision.
Yeah. And what could help with that? Maybe a mantra.
Yeah.
About avoiding mantra bloat.
Yep. I will not make so many mantras.
Yeah.
When Jason trotted through the lobby, he avoided eye contact with the front desk guy and zipped straight to his room. He'd only sat down for a moment when there came a knock on the door. It was the front desk guy. "Sir," the front desk guy said, "you can't bring any more sticks into your room." Jason's head dropped like a caught dog. "I thought you guys might have opinions about that," he said. He looked around the room at the many piles of sticks. "I have to get rid of all of them," he said. "That's hotel policy," the guy said. "But between you and me, I think it'd be fine if you kept your 3 favorites." He winked. A smile warmed Jason's face. "That's really nice of you," he said. The guy gave a little wave and walked off. Jason turned back to the stick piles and knew it would be a bittersweet afternoon. Just little by way of explanation there, one of the great experiences I think in social life is when authorities who represent an institution kind of let their humanity come through. Unfortunately, though, the front desk guy did not have the authority to make stick allowances, to improvise like that. And he ended up being made an example of in front of the other hotel employees, and he was beheaded.
Guys, thanks so much. We have a song. I've been getting into TM, so I had to talk to a guru.
Yeah.
Get a mantra.
Got my mantra today. Yeah, they made me pay, but my mantra's worth the cost. Like a treasure that's been lost. It's smoother than Sinatra. My velvet tone new mantra. The price was tough to swallow. Cost me $1,040. Oh, my mantra. It's gonna haunt ya. Oh, my mantra is just the word cilantro.
The mantras are. Did you know that they are? It is like that expensive to when you get into TM.
Really?
Like this,
Transcendental meditation.
Yeah,
for the
transcendental
uninitiated.
meditation for those who aren't familiar with the David Lynch Foundation.
Right. For those who don't have a monthly, donation set up.
But it is a. I think it costs you about $1,000 to get a mantra.
I was going to say the price was very specific. $1,040.
It's like fees.
Yeah.
It's the base rate of
my thing was,
1,000.
okay, is that to remind you of the tax form?
1040. Yeah, right.
Yeah, exactly. That's a good point. I think it is. I think that's the way David Lynch is kind of wired.
If the price has to remind them,
Yeah.
If there's any way, we could get the price.
yeah, he's kind of hard to do and not turn into somebody else, isn't it?
Who else
He
do you
does
think
that
turns
lip
into?
smack.
I don't know. I can't place it right now.
Now you're going to want to make the what is he making in that? He does a video.
He does the video
where he's
demonstrating how you make it's
It has the little kernel in
quinoa.
it.
Quinoa.
He's making quinoa.
We're making
and when
quinoa.
you make
That's good.
quinoa, you will need
About that much water.
this much.
Yeah.
And he
Okay.
shows to the camera with his fingers.
Yeah.
This much water, which does not take into consideration the volume of the pot that you're using.
Yeah.
That there's-
I love it.
it's great.
Great.
And
That's really good. You guys should all we did finish kind of summing up but just go look up on YouTube David Lynch making quinoa.
Making quinoa.
Watch
It's good.
It's great.
Watch that.
Also, him talking about watching movies on your phone.
Yeah.
That one's really good
that
too.
one's good too.
So yeah.
We like David Lynch. We like Dune. We do not particularly like David
Lynch's
Lynch's Dune.
Oh, true.
I would say
It's not the fullest expression
It's not great.
of the Dune franchise in film.
it's not great. And anybody who says that they really genuinely, I just love the way that it looks
Yeah.
and they're probably just lying to you, and
Yeah.
you should not trust that person. So I like the space guys in that one.
The space guys are
the
great.
Space Guild guys. They look really funky.
Mm.
That's fun. But
You're not even supposed to see them.
Thanks so much for listening. You can send us your questions by attaching a file format, some kind of audio file, to an email and sending it to advancedansweringtechniques@gmail.com. Please do that.
you don't want to go through click by click what's going to be involved.
Do you think I should?
That'll be on the Patreon. Eventually.
That'll be on the Patreon. Eventually, we'll tell
You
you.
have to pay to learn how to upload something to enjoy the show, be part of the show.
We
It's
trust
actually,
you.
It's not a bad idea. Set up a Patreon
not
that
a
is
bad idea.
basically just tutorials.
I've got
for,
a great idea right
for
now.
older people
Yeah.
that need help with converting a PDF or an
Yeah.
image into a
Here's
different
my
file.
idea.
Yeah.
If we want to make money with this podcast,
And
we
do.
design our own file extension. Okay, and that's the only one we accept.
That you can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you get access to the thing that creates this file
Yeah.
extension through the page.
Yeah.
To the Patreon.
And I think that this
This is your document. This is like your file converter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
.aat.
Exactly.
You
And
know,
I think that this is going to
so-
work because because, there hasn't been a time in the past where we've had to beg people to send questions in. So, so adding a monetary barrier as well as, like a whole other process
technological barrier.
It's not going to cause problems
and
at all.
And what I would like is if we did receive a bunch of questions.
Yeah.
And we look at them, they're fully accessible to us. But they have not been converted to the correct format, so we will not.
It doesn't work on our computer, actually.
Sorry. That'd be fun.
Yeah, that would be fun.
Yeah, what would be interesting is that in order for that to be simple for us, we'd have to develop a way that those files can be played on our computers.
Yes, right.
And that we wouldn't just be converting them back into a
It would probably
format.
just go back to an MP3 or something.
Yeah. So
well, that is actually what would happen. We would have a proprietary piece of software that when you click on it, just automatically converts into an MP3.
But it's sort of like a shibboleth.
If you wanted to listen to this, you're gonna have to encrypt the questions you send in, and then you can listen to the podcast too if you can decrypt.
Do you guys think that maybe one of the reasons that our listens per week are where they are is that there is some kind of file format issue that is making it hard for more people to is there something like this that's already going on?
I would prefer to think that's the problem.
Yeah. I mean, it certainly couldn't be that people aren't interested in listening. We'll just have to dismiss that out of hand.
No, I can't. I wouldn't be able to countenance the amount of time I've spent on this if that was the case.
Right. Certainly.
Yeah, I think honestly though, that was just an idea. I think we should keep the file format just the same.
Just MP3.
Yeah. And just kind of use the system that's already in place for all this.
I agree.
Bye.
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 Getting reckless.